when things go wrong, it's always like 4 a.m. on a Saturday. And these last two stages were super tight. And should we drop some sand we're trying to put in there? Should we add more perforations? And it's like, well, it's 4 a.m. on a Saturday. And the thing is, it's like, well, I don't know if I make that change, what is the impact going to be to just the cost and time? But we went through this whole process and optimized this design because it hit the hurdle rates we needed for IRR, and it was the one that maximized the most 2-year free cash flow, let's say. Mm-hmm. If I make this change, like, am I jeopardizing that? Am I not jeopardizing that? And that's where, you could do a quick simulation in PrePad and understand, what's going to be the impact? Call, let's say, the boss or somebody else and get the blessing to go forward with it and just have the information. Especially
on the operations side, we're really focusing on cost all the time, right? And that's kind of the perception, at least for certain in the industry, that certain companies are just like, free cash flow maximization means absolute cost cutting to the bone, right? And and I love how you guys are looking at that from like the economics engine that you've built around it, because even at Colbor, like the thing that we're trying to do is to be able to move all that data up to a level where you can make some of those optimization decisions, because it's really an optimization problem rather than just a cost-cutting exercise, right? In reality,
we could go faster and reduce cost for the well and really not jeopardize any production because it's not going to affect what's going on downhole. But if you start playing with levers like, well, I want to reduce a little bit of sand because that lowers my costs. And that's awesome because I want to lower my costs as a completion engineer. But I know that now I'm risking production. We experienced this even at Shell too, where we started reducing water and like high-fiving because we're delivering low-cost cheaper wells. Fracs. But that obviously ruffles some feathers with the reservoir engineering and the subsurface team, because then they can't give you the confidence that that type curve and that well production is going to be the same. So that's really where we wanted to integrate not only just the cost and time scenario analysis and the fact that you can do like super quick scenario planning on that side of it. Well, we wanted to link it up with what's happening on the subsurface side. And that's an area where we don't predict or come up with that. We leverage what the operator already believes and understands, because everybody's got their own in-house teams and they've been doing this. And that's where a lot of the legacy software was characterizing the fields and understanding how much production can come out of the ground. Because when you don't do it that way, the development planning engineer will, let's say, grab a cost from the drilling engineer, cost and time from the completion engineer, work with the reservoir team to understand the production, kind of put it together, look at a bunch of different scenarios, and help steer the business in what's the most valuable or whatever their financial value drivers of choice are. So we try to do that in one platform now, because the drillers, they want to reduce their costs too, so they'll drill as fast as they possibly can. But a lot of times, this is well understood. If you have a really crooked well, it's going to make completions more challenging. So drilling might have saved some money, but then completions has to spend more money, and they can lower their cost per foot by going as long as they possibly can. But then it gets hard for the completions guys to actually pump the jobs as per program at the toe of that well and get your wireline, your coiled tubing at the toe of that well. And then the production side too. They're like, well, each incremental foot or meter that you drill isn't going to give you that same amount of production back. So we need to also account for like the non-linear effects happening when you go further and further. And that's understood. But when you're doing that piecemeal, it's just more challenging and more time consuming when we all know that that's what we want to do. So let's try to do that more efficiently in a platform.
Yeah. And the ability to move that real-time data back to you guys so that you can kind of have the data required to rerun that simulation in real time. I think like that's the ultimate, that's kind of the wet dream.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah, that would be, and obviously because we're not just dreamers, and you guys have built something pretty amazing, and I think we have too, you realize what it takes to get there. Real time. So it's like, let's do like pseudo real time and then understand how much work and effort to get to the real time, and again, trade-offs of,
and also it's also is this juice worth the squeeze a lot of time, right?
For sure. Yeah, maybe it's not.
right? And maybe like moving that data into your next simulation for the next job is optimal.
Good enough. And
right?
after just the stage, like I don't need to. The good thing about completions too, it's like, well, maybe some fracs are 30 minutes, some of them are 3 hours. You're probably not going to change anything mid-frac.
Mid-frac, yeah.
Maybe you will, but on the next stage, it's like, okay, and that doesn't require as much of an exhaustive. You guys know the bits and bytes flying around, and do I really need it like within 2 seconds, or am I cool to get it 45 minutes?
45
minutes
stage
is done.
Yes.
Yeah, and that from the people building the connections is a lot easier. Probably.
Yes.
Yeah. Data in hand, we rock the bytes, and we'll take a stand. Calculators flashing like a disco ball. Cold board tech, hey, we answer the call.